Edge of Fate's new weapon stat is about to entirely shake up the Crucible meta. In today's video, instead of just straight gameplay, I actually want to tell you about some weapons that are currently available in the game that I think are going to be crucial to have in your arsenal heading into the Edge of Fate if you want to dominate in all PvP game modes. The weapons listed I think are all pretty interesting, and we want to get a good variety of weapons here instead of just all hand cannons, so we've tried to pick out a bunch of different weapons and archetypes that I think will all be really strong. We're going to be listing these from the least dominant to the most dominant weapons for you to get, and when we get to our number one weapon on this list, I have no doubt that this will be the most used currently available weapon when the Edge of Fate drops. In fact, I am so confident that number one on this list will be the most used weapon, that if it isn't, I want you to suggest a charity in the comments down below, and the top liked comment, or the charity that gets mentioned in the most comments, I will personally donate $100 to. However, I really do not think that's going to be the case, as this thing is going to be on top for sure. We're also going to be focusing exclusively on weapons available to all three characters, so we're not going to have a weapon that synergizes really well with a specific exotic armor, as we want these to be available to use and strong on all three classes. However, because the artifact is the same for each class, there is going to be a lot of synergy with the new Edge of Fate artifact. Keep in mind that every time I say time to kill, that will be accurate, as every single Guardian in the Edge of Fate will have 230 HP. So no resilient gates will impact these numbers. If you hit the shots, the opponent will die. Simple as that. So hopping into number 5 on our list, this is probably the most obscure one, as this weapon has historically never really been all that impressive within PvP. With Bungie's most recent balance article in the TWID, it's really sparked my interest. We're going to be taking a look at the Wicked Implement. Bungie announced that the Wicked Implement exotic scout rifle will be converted from its current 180 RPM into a 260 RPM scout rifle. Currently in the game, the Fang of Ir Yût from the Crota's End raid is a really strong option for a 260, but that's only due to Precision Instrument allowing it to 4-tap. With the weapon stat damage boost coming in the Edge of Fate, we'll be able to consistently 4-tap with any 260 RPM scout rifle, decreasing our time to kill from 0.93 to 0.7 seconds. The reason the Wicked Implement is the 260 that we're going to be looking at in particular is because of the new artifact mod giving us frost armor when hitting crits. This is going to synergize perfectly with the Wicked Implement's exotic perk that slows targets when hitting consecutive crits. It wouldn't surprise me if a lot of the top tree floating warlocks adopt this playstyle, and honestly, it does sound kind of miserable to play against. You know, being slowed by a warlock that's floating 100 feet in the air that also has damage resistance, definitely an interesting playstyle, and I guess I'm excited to see how it plays out. Then coming in at number 4, we have a weapon archetype that has been incredibly underwhelming for a very long time. But due to some of the damage increases from the weapon stat, it definitely has a lot of potential, especially for the controller players watching this video. Our two options of 180 RPM hand cannons that can roll with Precision Instrument are either the Sightline Survey or the Word of Crota. The objective best option in this slot is going to be the Sightline Survey, as we can get Keep Away in the first slot to further push out the range and accuracy. Whereas with the Word of Crota, we would have to settle for Rangefinder or Killing Wind. On top of the fact that it can get Keep Away, we're also going to be getting Radiant after hitting repeated crits due to the Fever and Chill artifact mod. Side note, this artifact mod is going to become a theme throughout this list. It's incredibly strong. 180 RPM hand cannons currently 4-tap at a 1 second time to kill, and if we throw on Precision Instrument and around 4% damage from the weapon stat, we're going to consistently be running around and 3-tapping every Guardian we see at a 0.67 time to kill. That's without even factoring in the very easy Radiant that we're going to get from this artifact mod. I think this is going to make a pretty significant difference and massively decrease our margin of error. I'm really excited to try my Sightline Survey out. I crafted it ready for these changes, so if you want to see the roll, it's going to be on screen now, and let me know if you want to see this thing in action in a follow-up video once the Edge of Fate sandbox is live. For number 3, we're going to be going back once again to the Abyss Defiant. It's a monster in the current version of the game, and it has become one of my favorite weapons to use since the high impact auto rifle buff. The Abyss Defiant is also going to be benefiting from this Fever and Chill artifact mod, giving us a very easy way to proc Radiant. Due to its slower RPM, it feels really easy to hit those consistent crits too, especially if we throw Zen Moment in the mix. The roll here is a no-brainer in my opinion. Zen Moment combined with Sword Logic, throw on the Fever and Chill mod to get Radiant, and then some weapon stat, we're going to be consistently able to run around and annihilate people from crazy range at a 0.67 time to kill. And the best part, it's so forgiving. This time to kill is going to be so forgiving as you can hit 3 crits and 2 body shots and still achieve this optimal time to kill. I already love this gun in the current version of the game, and I am so excited to stack even more damage on top of it. Moving on to number 2 on our list, we're going to be taking a look at 390 RPM pulses. 390 RPM pulses have always been so close to being amazing, and the one time that they really did break into that top tier was when the high ground Bygones was running rampant, allowing us to get a free damage boost, making the 2 burst consistent. With the weapon stat being introduced, we are going to have that 2 burst consistent. Pretty much going back to that meta, but high ground is no longer needed. The 2 adaptive pulses I mainly want to focus on here are, of course, the Bygones. It's got great base stats and it's always been a PvP favorite. And the other option that's actually a lot more interesting to me is the Yorums Claw. However, you will have to wait until Iron Banner comes back around to snag it if you don't have one already. They actually have very similar base stats, but the Yorums Claw is going to benefit from the Fever and Chill artifact mob once again, as it's a solo weapon. This does kind of come down to preference. If you want the best possible time to kill, it's going to be the Bygones, as we can roll with Desperado, 2 bursting at a 0.5 second time to kill. However, I think I'm personally going to be drawn to the Yorums Claw here for consistency's sake. We can get some great perks like Head Seeker, Golden Tricorn, or Kill Clip in the second slot, meaning we need 1 less bullet to kill. And all of these can be paired with Moving Target in the first slot for some additional aim assist and strafe speed in gunfights, meaning that's definitely the option I'm going to be taking for consistency's sake. Last but not least, we have the king of Edge of Fate PvP. I firmly believe this gun is going to really shake up the meta and blow you away. Crazy meta shift. We have the Ignous Hammer once again. Look, I know, it's already on top. 120 RPM hand cannon with unmatched stats, unfathomable aim assist, and such a nice feel, sound, and weapon model to it. But what if I told you it's actually about to be so much better? Those that have played during the Beyond Light 120 meta, or even when we had Flint Striker on the artifact back in Season of the Wish, you'll know that an artifact mod that gets you Radiant easily, when combined with Golden Tricorn, equals 2 taps. And a lot of 2 taps. Those 2 taps aren't even hard to hit. It's on one of the best guns in the game with already incredible aim assist, like 2 crits. Anyone can do it. Igneous has so many options in the first slot, like Keep Away, Fragile Focus, or Rapid Hit, all at an S tier, and you can combine any of these with Golden Tricorn, so I have no doubt that the masses are going to come crawling back to the Ignous Hammer once they realize that it's simply still better than whatever new hand cannons they've grabbed in the Edge of Fate. If you 3-tap the first person, you'll be getting Radiant and Golden Tricorn to proc off that kill. This will give you the ability to 2-tap the next Guardian you come across at a reliable 0.5 second time to kill. And due to the nature of only having to hit 2 bullets, it's really easy to do. We are going to need to invest a tiny bit into the enhanced weapon stat as the new global HP of 230, but it will absolutely be worth it. I also want to factor in Ember of Empyrean. This is going to allow our solar Igneous Hammer to extend the uptime of Radiant and Golden Tricorn, refreshing on every single solo weapon kill. So all of this combined, we have ourselves the strongest PvP build in Destiny 2, insane time to kill from huge ranges with one of the best feeling primaries in the entire game. Don't be sad if you didn't keep a Golden Tricorn Igneous. Keep in mind you can go to Saint 14 and focus a non-adept version for the time being, as Igneous is out of the loot pool. But even the non-adept version is just as good, really, if we're being honest, and it is absolutely going to be worth it. So that brings us to the end of our list. Let me know which of these weapons you're the most interested and excited to try out once we get our hands on the new sandbox. If you have any other interesting suggestions, please feel free to let me know them in the comments down below. If there's anything I missed out, I'm all ears. If this video helped out at all or inspired you to go and grab any of these weapons, then please do consider dropping a like on the video. It helps the video and the channel more than you know. And that's going to be it from me for now. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!